You think this old man can even last a round? One of the MMA bullies laughed, circling the veteran like a hyena around prey. The crowd jeered, phones recording, waiting for blood. What they didn't know was, this old man had seen worse than any cage fight. He'd survived wars, buried friends, and fought battles that didn't end when he came home. And tonight, he wasn't fighting for pride, he was fighting for his son. So before you skip this video, watch till the end. Because what happened next left everyone speechless. And if it moves you even a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, not for me, but for every single dad who refuses to give up. It all started 2 months earlier, in a quiet town outside Austin, Texas. John Carter, a former Army Ranger, worked double shifts as a mechanic. He lived in a small apartment with his 10-year-old son, Ethan, a quiet boy who had inherited his father's calm eyes and stubborn spirit. Life was tough, but John never complained. He'd fought through worse. The military had taught him one thing: discipline beats difficulty every single time. But life has a cruel sense of humor. Ethan was bullied at school, not just by kids, but by adults who thought toughness came from swagger, not struggle. Two local MMA fighters, Dean and Travis, ran a small gym and often mocked John whenever he came to pick up parts nearby. "Hey, Ranger, heard you couldn't even finish basic civvy life," Dean once sneered. "Guess those war stories don't pay rent." John ignored them, just like he ignored the pain in his shoulder every morning. He wasn't looking for trouble. But trouble found him. One afternoon, Ethan came home with a bloody lip. When John asked what happened, his son whispered, "Dean's nephew, he said you're a coward. He said you hide behind your uniform." That night, John sat in silence, staring at the old photograph of his platoon, some gone, some broken, all brave. He clenched his fists. He didn't care what people said about him. But no one called his son's father a coward. A week later, John went to the MMA gym. He didn't go there to fight, just to talk. "Your nephew hurt my boy," he said calmly. "Teach him respect." But Dean only laughed. "Respect? You think you can come in here and tell us how to raise men?" Travis stepped closer, his muscles flexing. "Tell you what, soldier boy. You step into the ring. 1 round. If you win, we'll apologize. If not, you walk out and keep your mouth shut." John looked around. Cameras, smirks, pride. He should have walked away. But when he thought of Ethan's face, he nodded. 1 round. The night came fast. The gym was packed. Everyone wanted to see the washed-up vet get destroyed by 2 trained fighters. But what they didn't see were the scars on John's hands, reminders of battles that never made it to TV screens. When he stepped into the cage, there was no fear. Just focus. Dean came first, fast, reckless, swinging wide. John ducked, his instincts kicking in. Years of combat training weren't for show. He moved with surgical precision, using every ounce of experience the battlefield had burned into him. 1 hit to the ribs, another to the jaw, and Dean was down. The crowd gasped. Travis roared in anger, charging like a bull. He was younger, stronger, but John was smarter. He didn't fight for sport. He fought to survive. Travis threw a wild kick. John caught his leg, twisted, and dropped him flat on his back. In seconds, it was over. Silence filled the gym. John looked down at both men, breathing hard but steady. "You think fighting makes you strong," he said, voice calm but cold. "Real strength isn't about breaking bones. It's about standing when life breaks you." The crowd erupted, not in mockery this time, but in awe. The bullies couldn't even look him in the eye. John walked out, not with victory in his hands, but with peace in his heart. Outside, Ethan ran up and hugged him tight. "Dad," he whispered, "they'll never call you a coward again." John smiled, eyes glistening. "Doesn't matter what they call me, son. What matters is that you know who you are, and you never stop standing tall." From that night on, the story spread like wildfire online. Veteran dad floors MMA bullies, the video went viral. But for John, it wasn't about fame. He went back to his job the next day, same overalls, same quiet strength. Weeks later, Dean and Travis showed up at his shop. "We were wrong," Dean said, voice shaking. "You taught us more in 1 night than our coach did in years." John nodded. "You're fighters. So fight for something that matters." They shook hands. Enemies turned to men with understanding. As the sun set, John and Ethan sat on the porch, watching the sky fade to gold. "You know, Dad," Ethan said softly, "you didn't just fight for me. You showed them what real courage looks like." John smiled. "No, son. I showed you, so you'll never forget it. And that's what this story is about, not revenge, not violence, but redemption. A father who stood tall not to prove he could win, but to show his child what real strength means." If this story touched your heart even a little, hit that like button. It helps more people see stories like this. Subscribe for more real, powerful tales that remind us, heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes, they wear grease-stained shirts, tired eyes, and a father's love that never gives up. Because in the ring of life, real warriors fight for family.